Welcome back, everyone. This is Anderson Pooper coming to you with our latest installment of the Wholesome Mews. Our first story today comes out of Tiny Kittens Rescue in Langley, where Grace, a pregnant cat rescued from a large feral colony, gave birth to 4 adorable, beautiful little panthers for the very last time. More than 200,000 people from around the world tuned into the Tiny Kittens live stream to witness the miracle of birth, while at the same time learning why spaying and neutering is so important. I'm sure every pregnant mother would love to have 200,000 people watching them go through the miracle of labor. Now viewers can watch 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as Grace lives her very own version of The Truman Show and raises her final litter of kittens before they are eventually spayed, neutered, and adopted into their new loving forever homes. And I'm sure I continue to date myself with references like The Truman Show. Tiny Kittens have now trapped 81 cats from Grace's feral colony, and 80 of them have been spayed or neutered. 65 have been socialized and adopted into their loving forever homes, while the rest have been returned to the feral lives that they love. A new caregiver has moved onto the property. She just loves the remaining cats and will happily give them the care and attention that they deserve. Now that all the cats from the colony have been spayed or neutered, Tiny Kittens will continue to support the caregiver with food and medical care to any cats who may need it in the future. No terrible dad joke can diminish how amazing a job Tiny Kittens has done to help improve the lives of all 81 cats, and a big thanks to all those out there who chose to adopt, not shop. In the words of Bob Barker, remember folks, help control the pet population, have your pet spayed or neutered. And I dated myself again. Fixed. Our next Wholesome Mews story comes from Bronson, who recently celebrated the 2-year anniversary of his amazing weight loss journey. Bronson began his weight loss quest at a pretty solid 15 kilograms, or 33 pounds for our American friends, and has now worked his way down to a svelte 9 kilos, or about 20 pounds. This month alone, he has lost 272 grams, or 0.6 of a pound, or just over half a block of butter. Why I know how much a block of butter weighs, I don't know. What I do know is where those 13 pounds Bronson lost ended up. Over the last 2 years, Bronson's energy level and confidence have increased dramatically. His first 6 months were made up of him only coming out to eat and then quickly hiding back under the couch. But due to his new athletic figure, he started to come out of his shell and interact with the other cats. I was unaware that cats had shells. You learn something new every day. His owners want to give big thanks to all those who have been following along and supporting his journey. And if you want to check in on his latest progress, make sure to look him up on Instagram at IamBronsonCat. And now over to Cat Damon for this week's sports report. Cat? Thanks, Anderson Pooper. Well, with the postponement or cancellation of all major sports events and leagues around the world, we have stepped away from the mainstream to bring you highlights from the at-home challenges that have begun to pop up on the internet. Our first highlight comes from the inaugural Cat Olympics, where brothers Licorice and Shadow were competing in their first ever synchronized grooming competition. Unfortunately for these brothers, it appears their nerves got to them as they weren't quite able to pull off the scores they had been hoping for. While it looks like they were physically prepared and their choreography was on point, as is often the case at high-level competitions, they simply let their nerves get to them and they lost form towards the end of the routine. It's okay though, in their post-competition interview, they took a positive attitude and were able to turn their disappointment into motivation for their next event. And speaking of the next event, teammates turned into competitors as Licorice and Shadow faced off in their first UFC match. UFC, of course, standing for Ultimate Feline Combat.
And Licorice is waiting, trying to get Shadow into his guard. Shadow engages. Shadow's trying to establish top position. Again, he backs out, questioning whether or not his ground game is up to the standards of his brother, even though he's been working on it a lot. Oh, they're back to their feet. Posturing, good footwork. Low stance by Shadow. Licorice with the defense. Drops down. into his full guard. Oh, Licorice is looking to reverse positions with some up kicks. Shadow again. Wondering what he's going to do. Feeling Licorice out here. Licorice is looking ready. Look at the tail work. They've both been practicing their tail work recently. And Licorice goes in with the flying leap. Jumps on top into Shadow's guard. Shadow's trying to reestablish full guard. Almost into an anaconda position. And the round is over.
While it may look like a brutal sport, these competitors have trained hard and both came out of their match unscathed, ready to move forward in preparation for next week's competition, which includes the toilet paper hurdle hop and the feline obstacle course. Check in next time, where hopefully we'll have highlights from those events in our next edition of the Wholesome Mews. That's what's happening in the alternate world of sports. Now back to you, Anderson Pooper. Thank you again, Cat Damon. In today's Celebrity Corner, Sir Anthony Hopkins of Silence of the Lambs fame recently posted a clip of how he and his cat Niblo are keeping one another healthy and happy. In this adorable video, Sir Anthony and Niblo are partaking in some classical music played on the piano. Judging by the video, I'm assuming Niblo is working the pedals. As more of us struggle with our mental wellness during these COVID times, Sir Anthony is demonstrating how both classical music and furry companions can help regulate us during our times of need, as there's plenty of research supporting the positive effects that both can have on mental health. If you don't have room for a grand piano in your home, your best bet is to check one of your local shelters for a feline co-regulator to keep you healthy and happy. Once again, if you have any stories that you would like to share from the wonderful world of felines, please let us know and make sure to check out your local shelter to see how you might be able to support them in these times of need. Until next time, this is Anderson Pooper signing off for the Wholesome Mews.